Due to the trajectory of treachery, this will have to be my last video, for sure. One must consider that they've been going out of their way to take away from my presentation and to block my natural shine, even going as far as causing me prolonged photophobia, slowing down my videos, etc. Let's consider the pharaohs before Narmer. It is said the Scorpion one was significantly before Narmer. It is said that Hor and Ka. Hor is said to be the first pharaoh known by name, and it also said that possibly the first person known by name, which is very interesting. He's also known as Ro and Iri, Horus's mouth. Now, it's very significant to note that Toby Wilkinson, Will Khan's son, so like a play on his last name, to be Will Khan's son, right? That's what they planned and that's what they're doing. Translated it falsely as property of the king. It goes back to manifest, manifestation, manifest destiny, right? The ships manifest the slaves. Unfortunately, they lack the foresight to understand that the great bloodline would not be taken as a slave at that point. These are people that would die before going into slaves. The spirit will never serve Satan. It's a very fundamental, unavoidable proof that I am who I say that I am. The spirit does not serve the enemy. He serves God. And as he looks at life, he says, how able am I to do my duties? Okay. So Kurt Heinrich Sethi, right, Seti, right, was also a key in this, a key researcher, Egyptologist. You can't make this stuff up. Another inscription, Zayet El Aryan. I mean, my goodness. Do they have to make it any more obvious? So this inscription was at Zayet El Aryan. And it's become painfully obvious to me who names these places and people and who doesn't. So we talk about the inscriptions, okay, and where they're found. This proves that Hor, and to a large degree at least, was a significant pre-dynastic pharaoh, okay, who perhaps his name was Ka. And we'll get into Narmer and what it means and how it relates to the catfish, and we'll explore that. And we'll talk about Hor-Aha Haru the fighter. Aha! Right? Who gets it and who doesn't? I mean, the evidence is just overwhelming here that I've been right for a very long time. And one of the first things that cued me in is when I said, think about the difference between a scientist, a geek, some lukewarm priest, etc., and a warrior on a great mission who God comes to. It's even in popular culture. For people to miss that, to me, is quite ridiculous. And if you think, my phone is dimmed, I can't really see myself. I can see I kind of look geeky. I've lost weight in the face. They're taken away from my image, right? I mage. They're magicians. I'm a martial artist. I don't even have my proper attire. Again, I don't wear this because I do Kung Fu. I don't do Kung Fu. I don't do any Asian martial art to any degree. Every single move is twerked in a way that is to my liking and is not found in any other system. All right. So buried in el Ka'ab, inscriptions found in Canaan. My Lord Ka-Obi, el Ka'ab, right? When you apply the wordplay. Okay. So that's where Ka is buried. Again, Ka and Ki, right? With the E versus the A. The Ka is the Chi. Also refers to this idea of having a spirit double in heaven. The destiny, the Igbo leader emerges. All right. So we look at Sekin. There's another name was given to him. Sekin means to embrace. So to embrace your kin, right? Right there in the wordplay. Sekin. You see how the wordplay always lines up when you do the good spell. All right. 1902, Petrie excavation, right? They found the flint knives in pottery, right? Put airy, right? Indignation, right? Put them in their rightful place, which is what Amen fails to do. And he said to put people in the rightful place and give them their rightful deserts, okay? and to be the vizier of the poor. I did the wordplay with vizier, it proves my point as well. Anyway, think about lying and learning, right? Lie, earn. To lie with your professor, to lie with secret societies, to lie with your homosexual master. As a child, pederasty, pedophilia, gold digging, whoring around, right? They're scum. Of course, sluts live in shame. And why? Because as ham, a shame, right? The masculine Sun Temple perspective of Egypt definitively proves them wrong. They resort to witchcraft and bitchery and trickery, right? Dirty tricksters. Okay? Solace, soul, I, see, right? The soul A is the I that sees. Soul A, see. Okay? Amaze, right? When somebody tells you by their actions in a million ways who they are, what they're about, and you follow that maze anyway, and live life according to them, then you are learning from them. You're lying with someone in their spirit, whether it's them or someone else. You're lying and you're earning. You're earning your place in hell. Okay, loyal, lay L, right? God or the devil, which Lord? So let's think about the catfish and the chisel. The raging catfish, right? What does Narmer mean? Well, backwards, ram, ran. Not somebody who's in a sparring match that's drugged up and you're being extra aggressive, who needs to take a tactical retreat to verify on camera the point, but actually in battle, when you're in the spirit of warfare, in the spirit of your God, fighting to the death, right? Ram ran. They ran from my challenge. Their spirit fled. They were well aware. Their martial arts systems were well aware. So mene, see name, right, backwards. And what is the name, right? The catfish, okay? Angry catfish, fighting catfish, fearful catfish, painful catfish, biting catfish, furious catfish, also was referred to as bad catfish, evil catfish, menacing catfish. I don't accept these terms. They're symbolic to me of people twisting things and trying to make the good guys seem evil. They've made rashes break out on my face and so on. I was told, I don't know if it's true, that Cardi B, the rapper, reported that the food in Cali is drugged, and that it's making her break out in rashes and making her feel queasy, okay? This could be used to pretend that I'm not singled out. It could be a sign that she's singled out. It could be just an attempt to control the opposition. That does seem to be what it is, right? So also, stinging catfish. Now, let me skip ahead to the catfish. I'm going to have to go through this quickly. Pages to go through. All right. So the African catfish is called the sharp-toothed catfish, right? Transferable skills from sparring, right? The catfish, Narmer, the raging catfish, right? The biting catfish, and so on. Freshwater lakes, rivers, and swamps is where it's found. It's found all over the world because it's spread out because of aquaculture. I have no time to get into that. Largest fish, an eel like 3 feet 3 inches to 5 feet 7 inches. Okay, the low average to the maximum it's been found. It's a slender. It crawls on dry land. It's said to be nocturnal, but it probably is caught on dry land. So the males lie in U-shaped curve. The U-shaped tombs of Narmer and Hor-Aha, who's said to be his son by Neith-Hotep, right? Aggressive mating, which is up for debate. Raised in high density, high yields. To me, it makes more sense to have bast, right? The best mate dancing the figure to increase the likelihood that you have the suitable offspring, mind, body, and soul. Okay, so a house divided cannot stand. The natural order, nature L, right? Not your E-L, but the natural order, the A order, okay? Unnatural for great warriors to submit to people they could kill in ancient combat before excessive technology, including the gym and supplements and drugs. This means transferable skills from sparring. I've gone over this a million times, right? Transferable, communicable, convertible, universal, translatable. In a tribe, clan, civilization, or an empire, women submit to man and only reign in the absence of a suitable leader when they're the queen. Women who do not see it this way are not suitable helpers. Best mind, body, and soul is the most suitable helper, but through Pharaoh's heart was meant to be the way women are chosen. King Ka must have preceded Narmer, and he fought with Set's followers over the direction of the land, etc. The people failed to honor the direction as they fail now. It proves that their non-light temple perspective is worthless. Narmer, the masculine, is also another way his name has been interpreted, right? And I go on about the spirit of masculinity. And he's not this big, strong guy. He's more like the catfish. He's slender. He's tall or long, right? Now people can act like bitches about that all they want. I just call it how it really is. This is the natural order. Is it my fault the lion and the leopard and the hawk are more significant than, the jackal, the rabbit, the rabbit's pretty significant, so on. No, this is just how it is. See, there's no such thing as a valid source these days, other than people like me, and even then we make mistakes. Search your soul and use sense. There's no expert for this reason but the martial artist, the top martial artist. So Narmer is a Horus name. The New Kingdom lists all start with Mene, okay, 8 kings, right? 1 Narmer and 7 kings, right? This is said to be in the necropolis sealings, another application of the 7 seals, right? They didn't want to include Narmer because there's this extra emphasis on martial arts and the ideal masculine form. His son probably didn't take on that form, and it probably has to do with who he settled for, right? So these sealings were found in 1985, 1991, Den, Memphis. Okay, so Serekh, S-E-R-E-K-H, right, backwards with the H as the fence, becomes Karas, Ka of Ras. In karate, it's Karas Te, which means empty hand. Okay, Te means to empty. Or, I believe, yeah. And so Kara means the hand, the hand of God, the right hand of God. They accept the mark of the beast on their hand and their forehead. They're doing the works of the devil. Regardless what the symbolism means exactly, it's about the idea that they're referring to. Don't waste your time with the labyrinth. Use divine insight. If you couldn't before, you must accept my point. If you could and you didn't fall in line, you must accept my point. Either way, I'm the top, and I am Pharaoh. And the sun gate does close after I'm gone. And those who live in reality know that even if they all pretend that I'm wrong, my judgment is the only one that matters. And they've testified against themselves in so many ways. I don't know where to begin. Okay. Argument made that what happened before Narmer was relegated to the realm of myth. This may very well be where you get the gods. The pre-dynastic Haru kings were the gods. And then you have the Set guys, the evil guys, the bad El, right? The storm gods and Baal and so on and so forth. El Shaddai, and you get all these kind of, non-god-like figures that people embrace as gods. So the conquest into Canaan, Manetheo, archaeologist evidence. They say main though, or man-e though. Man-a though. Fortifications at Tel El Sakan. Okay, so kin, see con, no cause, and say kin, right? A cause and, ka, the spirit. So Neith Hotep's tomb, Narmer's queen, said to be the mother of Hor-Aha, according to some Egyptologist beliefs. Could it be that Narmer was darker skinned and Neith Hotep was lighter, and this is where they get the black and the white? Catfish prominent barbells, right? Versus, I believe these refers to the free weights, and not the machines. It goes back to prove my point, about lifting weights in a very natural form versus technology and supplements and so on. African sharp-toothed catfish, I went over this, right? Okay, they have aggressive mating, U-shaped tombs, U-shaped form of breeding. They're raised in high density. They have high heels. Okay, so the second Pharaoh, first dynasty, Hor-Aha, A high, hawk, fence, bull, right? The A is hawk, the A is the fence. A Hu and A He, right? The man Ebo, right? He man, no. They've already proven a million times over that they deal in illusion, occult, German psychology. They're key in psychology. They coined the term psychiatry, a German, Johann Christian Mill. We can go on and on. The Illuminati, Illuminism, Bavaria, and so on. So Greek historian Manetho, A thought is, A thought his, A taught us. Also, the Nepti name is Iti. Cattle, so these people ate cattle, fish, meat, veggies, and bread. So the liberals are wrong to try to get martial artists to eat just vegan food and so on and so forth. See, Ka et Ari, maybe they can do that as some kind of servant class, which is what the liberals are kind of work for, communism, socialism. They kind of build this kind of servant class to maintain the order, but certainly not people like me. Cemetery of Nikeda, Neith-Hotep may have been from the ancient line of Nakeda. Expeditions against the Nubians, year of smashing Tas Seti, Set in Nubia, Set E, chief wife Benarib, Beni Hassan, Beni Rib,